Hello and welcome. You're listening to the It's All in the Cards podcast, a horror fiction podcast where all questions are welcome, but you may not like the answers. Some material may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
People dressed in mourning clothes run towards the entrance of the church, trying to avoid the relentless rain. I recognize some by their build or by the way they carry themselves, but there are so many more that are strangers to me. I wonder if they were strangers to her too. Probably not. Aunt Beattie loved people, took a special interest in caring for them, guiding them to Jesus' light. She probably has a special memory for every person walking through those doors. Had. Goddess, will the past tense ever get easier? I take a fortifying breath and open my car door, stepping out onto the puddled mud of the dirt parking lot. I don't run towards the church, though. I walk purposefully, letting the rain drench my black dress, fill my sensible flats with muddy water. What does it matter if I get a little wet? Aunt Beattie won't care. The guilt threatens to creep up my throat again at the thought of her, and I forcefully swallow it down. Beattie knew that her story would end in that circle, on that night. She as much as told me so. But the fact that I had to be the one to do it, to end her suffering, it's too much to think about, even months later. It seems a little too perfect, anyway, that after a hot, dry summer, the sky would let loose for a funeral. It's like Mother Nature has been holding off on crying so she could join all of us, mourn together the passing of one of the greatest women I know. If Cora had been able to come home from her mission trip earlier, would we have still had rain? I'd like to think we would, but that may be the newly sentimental side of me. When I walk into the vestibule, a young man in an oversized suit hands me a folded pamphlet. A quick glance shows me Aunt Beattie's smiling face. The photo taken sometime before she got sick, before her body was ravaged by cancer and the effects of trying to help stop the buried bitch. I don't bother reading it, but I tuck it in my pocket for later. Maybe then I'll be up for reading through her life, distilled into a few solemn paragraphs that could never capture her wholly. The church is full, a sea of black rolling from the altar to the doors, but I find an empty seat in the back and slide into the pew just as Uncle Dale steps up to the front. Turning to the crowd, he rests his hands on the lapels of his suit and begins.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out today as we honor the life of Beattie Albright.
It's All in the Cards, Season 4, Episode 1, In Memoriam.
After the songs have been sung and Uncle Dale stepped down from the pulpit, Cora rises from her pew at the front of the church and mounts the steps. She looks so much like Beattie, it hurts a little. Her strong jaw and blonde hair, a younger double of her mother's. Her height, though, came from her father. She stands tall and strong in front of the crowd and gives us a pained smile.
Thank y'all for coming out today. I know it wasn't convenient for many of you, but Mom would have wanted her memorial service in her church, the place she took the most comfort, especially at the end. As many of you know, I was on a mission trip in Indonesia for the past several years. I wasn't able to come home as often as I would have liked, and that was the reason for our delay in the service until September. Mom knew the importance of the work I was doing and wouldn't hear of me coming home early. She believed in the power of faith and spreading the joy of Jesus Christ. I offered to come home every time we spoke on the phone, but each time she told me, "Cora, you are doing more for my soul out there in the world than you ever could by being stuck at my side. Keep doing God's work, and God will bring you home when He's ready." Well, He brought Mom home to His heavenly land. He brought me back as well. I'll miss her for the rest of my days here on Earth, but I know that she's safe and happy now. Thank you again for taking the time to come and celebrate my mother with me. To see so many faces in the crowd, so many people whose lives were touched by her. Oh, words cannot express how thankful I am that you cared enough to honor her this way. For anyone that is interested, I'm hosting a luncheon back at Mom's house, with food that was dropped off by our wonderful friends and family members. If I didn't get a chance to thank you in person for the help, please know I am eternally grateful for your thoughtful work. I just won't be able to eat it all. You're all welcome to come, eat, and share your own stories of Beattie. I'll be staying at the house for a while, so if anyone wants to come by and talk in the next few weeks, I would love to see you. God bless.
While the crowd bustles around and gathers their umbrellas and coats, I slide to the end of the pew to leave. There's no way I'm going to a funeral after party. Beattie will understand. Before I can make it back outside, though, I hear my name being called over the murmuring of the crowd.
Jade, wait a minute.
Shit, I really thought I could get out of here without having to have a pitying conversation. I just wanted to honor Beattie. Is that too much to ask? When I turn, I see Cora striding up to me, ignoring the murmured sorries from the people she passes. I paste a smile on my face and step to the side, letting the crowd move past me and out the door. Hi, Cora. How have you been? She glances around us in explanation, and I cringe internally. What a dumb thing to ask a grieving daughter.
I've been better. How are you feeling? I heard from Uncle Dale about the...
She waves her hand up and down my person, as if the physical changes to my body were enough to illustrate everything that happened that night. Everything that is different now that the buried bitch is gone, along with her mother. Both of our mothers. I put on a brave face, not letting her know how much the changes she so casually refers to have bothered me. Despite the months since I drank down the buried bitch, I'm still not used to the differences, both physical and internal. My black hair has lightened to a soft brown, my cheekbones more prominent, my eyes darker. I avoid mirrors whenever possible because I still don't recognize the woman who looks back at me. I'm doing okay, dealing with everything the best I can. It's not like I can go back and change it, you know? As we fall into an awkward silence, she studies my face and I pretend not to notice. Despite growing up together, we were never terribly close as children, not like Roz and I were. But I have good memories of playing in the woods behind Beattie's house with Cora, our games of pretend coming together with the ease of childhood.
Are you coming over to the house? I'd love a chance to sit down and talk with you. Not just about, but about everything else. Everything I've missed since I've been away.
I actually have to get back to the shop, but feel free to stop by for a coffee. We can sit and chat about whatever you want. I give her my phone to put her number into and send her a text so she has mine as well. And that's about as much social interaction as I can handle today. With a tight smile, I turn and walk out the doors into the blissful rain of the morning sky. As much as I would like to drive around and clear my head of the memories of Beattie and Cora, I have to get back to the shop. With Sam missing in action all summer, I've had to stick to my open hours much more strictly than I had gotten used to. Beattie's funeral was a rare exception, but I can't justify closing the store for the entire day when I could be making sales. I make a pot of coffee when I step into the store, more out of habit than anything else, but pour myself a cup before adding the usual sales charm to the rest of it. Fern jumps up on the counter when she hears me set my mug down, giving it her usual sniff before fixing me with a green-eyed glare. Sorry I'm later than usual. You know I wouldn't leave you alone for this long if I didn't have to. I scratch her ears in forgiveness until she pulls away, off to do a perimeter check or whatever it is she does when she's not in my face. Once she's out of sight, I square my shoulders and begin my work around the store. I'm in the back of the store, deep in inventory, when I hear the door open. Dusting off my hands on my black skirt, I make my way through the aisle of shelves, calling out to the customer as I get closer. Welcome to which... Turning around the corner to the front of the store, I lock eyes with Sam. She gives me a small, uncomfortable smile.
Hi.
I can't believe she's back. Her blonde hair is a little longer now, brushing her shoulders, her face tanner from being goddess knows where all summer, but it's definitely still Sam. Sam, who let herself get seduced by the buried bitch. Sam, who ran away after the confrontation by the tar tree. Sam, who I thought I would never see again. Long time no see.
Yeah, I didn't recognize you at first.
Her words hit their mark, and I feel my shoulders stiffen. If she notices, she doesn't comment. Most people have gotten used to my new look, but then most people have been around.
Yeah, Aunt Roz showed me a picture of you when I got in last night. I still see the old you, though.
That sneaky bitch. How did Roz manage to get a picture without me knowing? At least Sam doesn't comment on my voice. The hair I can play off as dye, and if my cheekbones look more pronounced, well, the regulars just assume I'm not eating due to my grief. But the change to my voice is unnerving to people who knew me before. Hell, it's unnerving to me. Even the voice in my head changed that night. The best excuse I've been able to come up with is that the immense grief caused such a change to my body that my vocal cords were altered. No one has questioned me on it yet, even if they don't believe me. I'm still figuring out this new body, new voice, and getting constantly reminded of it never fails to put me in a bad mood. Glad you can still recognize me even after your disappearing act. She at least has the courtesy to look ashamed.
I know that wasn't the most adult thing to do, but it was the only thing I could think of. I just couldn't face everything. Not after what I had done.
I try to keep my face hard, but I can feel my resolve slipping. I know Sam wasn't herself when she damn near killed us all. I saw how the buried mother put people in her thrall, convinced them she was something she wasn't. I can't expect Sam to be immune to something like that. Except I did. I really thought she was as strong and cautious as I was. That's what I get for finally believing in someone other than myself. Well, some of the regulars have been asking about you at the store. If you are back long enough for a job, they'll be happy to see you. Her face lights up at my words and she steps towards me.
Yes, absolutely. I'll help with whatever you need. I've still got some stuff to do today, but I can be here first thing tomorrow.
I hold up my hand, stopping her before she can invade my space and give me a hug. You're on probation. Remember that.
Of course. And Jade?
Yeah?
I'm sorry about Beattie. She was a truly wonderful woman. If there was any way for me to go back in time and stop everything that happened, I would. In a heartbeat.
I know. But don't take the blame for other people's choices. She knew when she left her home that night what was going to happen. She just didn't know exactly how, but I wasn't going to say that to Sam. Fern will be so happy to see you.
Is she still around? You didn't forget to feed her or, I don't know, find out she was a demonic entity?
Ha. No, she's still a normal cat from what I can tell. A little finicky about being left alone when I have to run errands, but I think that's just her being lonely.
Yeah, people don't realize that cats can get lonely. They think that because they act so independent, you can leave them alone for long stretches of time and they won't care or miss you.
People don't give cats enough credit.
No, they really don't.
Hello. Welcome to Which Way Between the Lines. How can I help you today?
So, funny story. I just bought an anthology as soon as it came out last month, but I've already lost it. I'm hoping you might have a copy I can buy before I hop on a plane this evening.
We can find out. What's the name of the anthology?
From something? From the beach, from the fear, a phrase like that. One story was about a girl who befriended an invisible entity that held her hand in times of need. And another story had a guy watching a creepy vintage cartoon in an empty cinema on Halloween.
Ah, that would be From the Dark Observatory by Lucille Jones.
That's it, yes! Do you have it?
You're just in luck. I was about to put them out on the shelf.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
From the Dark Observatory. an anthology by Nichole Jones. The bleakest terrors can only be seen on starless nights from the dark observatory. Old friends profoundly regret playing a retro game that predicts their last words. A family living in the filming location of a cult slasher are tormented by obsessive fans, or maybe something even worse. Reviews of a historic holiday rental reveal visitors may arrive at a destination beyond description. Uncut versions of the videos that led to the gruesome disappearance of morbid young YouTubers, and many more, including seasonal tales for Halloween and Christmas. This collection of short stories, microfictions, and scripts includes Nichelle's most horrific tales, adapted by the multi-award-winning series The No Sleep Podcast, in print for the first time, along with new works. This place holds only darkness, no horizon, no hope, no stars. To purchase the book, follow the link in the show notes. It's surprising how easy it is to fall back into our old habits now that Sam is back. She still had her old set of keys, so the next day when I came down to the store, she already had it open and ready for the regulars. She was happily chatting with one of them, an older gentleman named Dirk, when I walked in, so I left her to it. That became our routine. Sam opens the store, we run the register and stock the shelves, we close together. I had almost forgotten over the summer what it was like to have help, to have someone to talk to during the empty hours of the day, someone to stop me from drinking too much coffee or remind me to eat. I've actually started going back to yoga in the mornings, which my back has sorely missed. When I arrived this morning with my yoga mat rolled up in a bag over my shoulder, Sam was already behind the counter and ready for the day.
You've got a postcard?
Sam holds her hand out as soon as she sees me. I know with only a glance who it is from, though, and don't immediately grab for it. Ugh.
Why ugh? You don't like Toledo?
Nobody likes Toledo, but the ugh was more for the writer of the postcard than for the image on it. The card itself was beautiful, an old photo of an even older church. The words Toledo, Ohio, written in black script over the sepia image. They're all old churches, every single postcard. That, more than anything, was how I knew who it was from. Not that I get a lot of postcards anyway, but that's beside the point. Sam flips the card over to read the name on the back.
Ephraim?
The one and the same. Apparently he's in Toledo now, or was a week ago.
Has he sent you a lot of these?
I take it from her and walk behind the counter to open the second drawer, revealing the stack of postcards I've already accumulated this summer. I drop the newest one on the pile unread. I stopped reading them after the third one arrived, because they all say some variation of the same thing. Doing God's work in name of town. Hopefully he brings me down to Arkansas soon. Stay safe, God bless. I mean, I know that postcards don't offer a lot of space, but some variety would be nice. Every time he goes to a new town, I guess it's nice that he wants to stay in touch, but I spent 20 years not talking to my father, so a few postcards hardly feels like an emotional connection. Sam stops what she's doing and turns to me, mouth dropped open so wide I can see her fillings.
Ephraim was your father?
Did I not tell you that?
Does this look like the face of someone who knew he was your father? I thought he was an old boyfriend or something.
Ugh, if you say anything like that again, I'm washing your mouth out with soap. Magical soap. Impossible to rinse.
He just didn't seem old enough to be your father, is all.
He would say God is keeping him young so he can stay on Earth and do his bidding.
And you would say?
Being an absent father made his life pretty stress-free, so that probably accounts for the lack of gray hair. Also, probably genetics. And possibly hair dye.
At least you know you have a chance to age as gracefully as he is.
Maybe. Genes are a crapshoot anyway, and who knows what's changed now. I gesture to my altered face as an example. Ephraim probably wouldn't even recognize me if he did come back to Arkansas. I decide not to dwell on that thought.
Hopefully nothing big.
I hold up my crossed fingers at her as I walk past, heading for the back room to drop off my yoga mat.
I'll take that for you.
Sam comes barreling towards me, grabbing for my mat and bag. I know that you're still on probation, but you don't have to be so helpful. She takes everything anyway, giving me a shrug.
I want to make it up to you however I can. This is something small that I can help with, so I'm going to.
Okay, but I'm going to start expecting this kind of service if you keep it up. Sam smiles.
I'm happy to.
We'll see about that. Sam bounces off to the back room, returning with the smile still in place. I bite my tongue from another snarky remark. She's trying to help, so I might as well let her. If it makes her feel better about everything that's happened, who am I to put a stop to it? A woman with a mass of dark curls piled on top of her head wanders in, eyes wide as she drinks in the store. There's a large canvas bag over her shoulder that is overflowing with papers and who knows what, but it doesn't seem to stop her from moving gracefully. She does a full circle, her flowy skirt drifting around her sandaled feet as she moves, before her eyes land on me.
Hello, I'm Vera. I just wanted to come by and introduce myself, and you have a wonderful store here.
Thank you. Do you need help finding anything? We've got books, obviously, but also a nice variety of tarot decks, crystals, candles. She cuts me off with a wave of her hands.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not here to purchase anything. At least not right now, but I will be back to peruse when I have a bit more time. I'm actually going to all of the local businesses to introduce myself because I am opening up a shop down the street in the next couple months, and I want to make a nice impression on my neighbors.
Oh, really? What kind of shop is it? By the look of her, I'm imagining a holistic healing store with lots of goat's milk lotions and shampoo bars and the like.
I'm a palm reader.
The words take a second to filter into my mind. A palm reader? She nods, the smile on her face broadening. She pulls a flyer out of her bag and hands it to me. A large palm takes up a majority of the page, with the name Palms Up across the top in a script font. At the bottom is the address and a blurb about palm reading that I gloss over as she goes on.
I'm sure you're familiar given what your store sells, but don't worry, I won't be competition. I may sell the odd trinket along with my services, but the storefront I'm renting is quite small, so, it will mostly be just me and the person whose hand I'm reading.
I school my face into a look of quiet interest, but my mind is scoffing. Palmistry has always been up there with phrenology, mood rings, and divination through entrails in my book, so the idea of a palm reader right down the street who thinks she has to reassure me that she's not taking my business is laughable. Have you been, reading palms long?
All my life. My grandmother taught me as a little girl, and her mother taught her before that. It's been an innate skill in my family for generations.
Right. Well, thanks for stopping by to say hi. I'll definitely come check out your little business when it opens.
I'm shooting for the end of November, but we will see what obstacles I run into. Hopefully I can get the place looking perfect by then. These rented spaces just have no character. Don't you think? It can take a while for you to find the right balance of, ambience and comfort. I mean, it looks like you've landed right on that line, though. This place is so comfortable. I feel like I could stay here all day.
She steps around me to look at the shelves, peeking her head into the reading room. I carefully wash the vervain as she brushes against it, but it remains unchanged. God, what I wouldn't give for a magical reason to dislike this woman.
Hey, here's an idea.
She strolls back to me, both hands clasped over the strap of her bag. Her eyes practically sparkle with delight, and I can just tell this is not going to be fun for me.
What if we did a services trade, like a get-to-know-you kind of thing? I could read your palm, you could read my cards. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be so fun. Wouldn't it, Jade?
I glare at Sam, who has appeared from the back room just in time to pressure me. She smirks at me as she turns back to Vera.
I'm Sam, by the way. I work at the store and help Jade with the occasional reading, but you'll definitely want to get your cards read by her. She's an expert. I'm still on my learning journey.
You'll get there, dear. I would be happy to work with you on palmistry, too, if you're interested.
I am very interested in that. Thank you.
Well, as lovely as that sounds, I don't think I have time today. We just got a new delivery, and Sam needs my help unboxing everything and getting it sorted.
I've got it, Jade. You go ahead and make a friend.
I purse my lips, unable to think of another reason why I can't do this goddess-be-damned trade other than I just don't want to. Okay, fine. Let's go to the reading room then. As we pass Sam, I slide my finger across my neck, the universal sign for I'm going to kill you. In response, Sam puts her hands together in a heart and smiles, watching Vera and I disappear into the reading room. Settling into her chair, Vera turns her gaze onto me. In the low light of the reading room, her eyes look like burnt sugar, dark and sweet.
So, Do you want to go first?
Sure. Let me give the deck a shuffle. Do you have a question in mind? Something that you would like answered by the cards? She thinks for a moment, theatrically tapping her finger against her chin before settling on a question.
Will my business be successful?
Do you just want a yes or no answer or a full reading?
Let's go all out. Full reading.
I shouldn't have offered a choice, clearly. Giving the deck one last shuffle, I set it down in front of me and flip over the first card. A young man walks across the face, a bindle with a checkered sack over his shoulder. I'll do a basic 3-card reading. For this one, the first card represents the situation as it currently is, with...
Oh my god, this is beautiful.
She slides the card closer to her so she can examine the artwork, her nose almost touching the face of the fool. Grimacing, I reach across the table to carefully move it back into position. Thank you. It is proper tarot etiquette to not touch the deck of a reader, though, so please leave everything where I put it. Her hand flies to her chest, mouth open in an O.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't know there was such a thing as tarot etiquette. I mean, I should have known. I was just so moved by the artwork here. Where did you get this deck?
I made it myself, actually. That's why I'm a little particular about who touches the cards. I prefer to keep my energy alone on the deck.
Jade, this is beautiful work. You should sell these. They would go flying off the shelves here, I'm sure.
I shake my head. I'm flattered, but it takes months to make a deck like this, and I don't have the time. Maybe in the future I can cook up some kind of custom cards that people can order, but not right now.
Well, if you ever want to brainstorm ideas, you know where I'll be.
She gives me a saucy little wink before waving her hand over the first card.
I'm sorry, I interrupted the reading. So, this is the situation? What does the card mean?
This is the Fool. He is the start of the major arcana journey in the tarot, and he stands for new beginnings. He also symbolizes innocence and a free spirit, which means that while you are at the start of your journey with the business, you may not be entirely prepared for everything that is coming your way. She bites her lip, but nods.
That's about right. I've never started a business before, let alone one based entirely on my gifts.
Wanting to move this thing along, I turn over the second card. The second position is for the obstacles that may be holding you back. This is the 9 of Swords, which has a lot to do with destruction coming from within, specifically your mind. Anxiety, trauma, grief, all of these linger with the 9 of Swords. Her eyes widen as I speak, and she shakes her head slowly.
Jade, your reputation doesn't even touch the real you. How could you have known all this?
I don't know anything. It's all in the cards.
My grandmother died recently, the one I told you who taught me how to read palms. I mean, she was my rock, my anchor in this world, and I've felt really adrift since she passed. That's why I decided to start this business. I wanted to stay connected to her any way that I can. No one in my family has ever done this professionally before, at least not full-time, so I have no idea what to expect. I have to do something, though, so why not use my gifts to support myself and also stay close to my grandma?
It sounds like the biggest obstacle is your own, but just because the cards say it doesn't mean that it has to be a bad thing. You can turn this emotional trauma and use it to connect with your customers, help them with similar situations.
You're very wise, Jade. Is this last spot how I'm going to do?
You're catching on. Revealing the last card, I almost laugh. The King of Pentacles. He stands for abundance, success, and security. I look across the table as a grin breaks out on her face.
I think I'm going to do well, then.
The cards do seem to be saying that, although fortunes can change all the time, so this is in no way set in stone.
Some fortunes can change, but some fortunes are indeed set in stone, or at least set in your palm.
Leaning her elbows on the table, she reaches forward for my hand, careful not to touch the cards that are laid out for her reading. With a sigh, I sweep them off the table and put the rest of the deck away before offering her my right hand. She holds my hand gently and runs a soft finger over my palm.
This line is your heart line, and it's got a lot going on. See how it's wavy and broken up? That indicates many lovers, but few long-term attachments. There's also some emotional trauma indicated here, which could be a result of that.
I draw my lips into a line and fight the urge to pull my hand away. She's not wrong, per se, but does she have to be so blunt about it? It's probably clear from the store and people in town, if she's been talking to anyone, that I don't have a romantic relationship or even much of a history of one. She doesn't seem to notice my discomfort, though, and she keeps going.
And your heart line touches the lifeline here, which tells me that you... Wait, hold on, what's this?
I resist the urge to peer down into my own hand. It's not like I know what she's supposedly seeing. She looks up at me with a grin.
You have a fate line.
What does that mean?
See this line here?
She draws her finger down the center of my palm.
This is the fate line. Not many people have one, see?
Holding up her own hand, I see that she indeed does not have one. I look back down at my palm, slightly more interested in what she has to say now that she's not talking about my failed love life.
Yours is deep, which indicates that your destiny is written out for you, but, it's also broken up into several lines that intertwine. Some of them even dead end, which is highly unusual. I've never seen this before.
She's close enough to my palm now that I can feel her breath on my skin. Suddenly, she jerks her head up, eyes wide and frightened.
Jade, you're in danger.
What?
You're in danger. You've done something, or are about to do something that is going to cause a very serious problem. It may already be a problem, but you haven't seen it yet. You need to stop, whatever it is, before it takes you over completely.
You see all of this in my palm?
I read the lines, yes, but they also speak to me. Like, your cards speak to you. The lines on your hand tell me that there's something dangerous happening, something that you did that only you can stop, but you need to do it now. Otherwise, it will devolve into something terrible for you and for those around you.
Okay, I think it's time for you to go. I pull my hand from her grasp and stand up from the table, waiting until she joins me.
Jeez. I'm sorry that it wasn't good news, but this is something that you have to hear.
I put a hand on her shoulder and guide her out of the reading room, straight to the front door. And now you've said it, so I'll be on the lookout. Thanks for coming by. The reading was interesting. When we get to the door, she whirls around, holding her palms up in defeat.
Look, I know you don't believe me, and that's okay, but when you're ready to figure out what's going on and fix it, please come to me. I would be happy to help however I can.
I think I'm good on the palm reading, but I'll keep that in mind. Have a nice day. She gives me one last sad look before turning to the door, pushing her way through it and out of my life forever. At least one can hope.
What was that all about?
I turned to see Sam leaning against the counter, arms crossed. She read my palm and said I was in terrible danger. I didn't really care to hear about that, so I ended the session.
Sounds about right. Wait, didn't she have a bag?
Oh, shit. It's probably in the reading room. Sam runs into the room and comes back out with the canvas bag slung over her shoulder.
I'll run and get it to her. She can't be that far away.
You go ahead and do that. I heave a sigh and turn away from the door. I've had enough of people today. If anyone else wanders into this door, they can have free rein for all I care. Before I can take a step, though, I am halted by a voice coming from inside my own head.
Who does this bitch think she is?
This episode of It's All in the Cards was written by Morgan Valko, featuring the voice talents of Abbey Konzen, Nichole Goodnight, Natalie Hitzel, Izze Sykes, Atticus Jackson, and Sarah Thomas. Theme music by The Arsonist. Outro music by Athen. Don't forget to check out our Patreon. Subscribe and get early access and bonus episodes, including the spin-off series The Deck of the Eternals and the companion series from Sam's point of view, Dear Mom. Link in the show notes.